we're going to look at designing a hanger for RMS tools. Under Create Sketch, and this is going to allow you to select this. I'm clicking the Orbit button right now on the mouse. So I'm going to select this plane to draw on. Let's create a rectangle right here. This is a center point rectangle. I'm going to click the center of the origin, make it bigger, and I hit D for dimension, and let's put a dimension on it. Let's say we want it 15 inches long, enter. This is 6 inches, press enter. We'll make a sheet metal component. Click sheet metal, create flange, select this as the flange. Here you can select different thicknesses of material, but generally if you're bending 14 gauge or 10 gauge, this is fine, because if you zoom in here, you can highlight this and press I for inspect, and it's 100 thou right here, you can see. So let's zoom out here. We're going to create another flange. Select this. I want it to come out 3 inches. Okay. Create another flange. Going to select this. I want it to come up, let's say 2 inches. And let's say I want it to be a bit on an angle here. There we go. Now let's get to the hanging part. Going to hit R for a rectangle, and I'm going to click on the plane at which I want to sketch on. So I'm going to click on the back here, and let's say hit the center point rectangle again. Right here, let's say this is 1 inch. 1 inch. Say this is 1.5. 1.5. Enter. Let's say from here to here we want 2.5 inches. I'm going to hit L for line, and I'm going to hit X, and that's going to create a construction line. This line won't hold any geometry here. You can see this when it's blue. You see what's happening is these float around. So what we need to do is we need to snap this to this, and I'm hitting midpoint. So you see now it turned black. So the only thing that hasn't been adjusted is the dimension of the length. So I'm going to hit here to here. The length is irrelevant, and you'll see why. With that line, I'm going to hit SMIR for mirror. Click this mirror button. I want to mirror this component on this selected line. Hit OK. E for extrude. And these are all the parts I'm going to extrude. Cut this through here. Now you can see it didn't cut all the way up here, and we'll look at fixing this, because I want to cut this all the way through. Press OK. And you can do this a few ways. Right down here is your timeline. I can go back to this and click Edit Sketch, and I can change this to 2 inches, and this to 2 inches. Finish sketch, and there you go, it cut them all out. But I don't really like that. I don't like the fact that it's cut out on the back so much, so I'm going to hit Control Z. I'm going to hit P for project, select this face, hit enter, and I'm going to project this drawing onto the face in front. And then I'm going to delete this. Actually, I need to do this again. Hit P for project, hit this. I gotta come in here and turn these sketches back. So now you can see I turned the sketch back visibly, and I'm gonna hit turn this on, and I'm double clicking it to project the geometry there. Now I'm gonna hit E for extrude. And now pull this through, turn off the sketch. There we go. I like that better. Now what I'd look at doing, let's put a label on this. I'm going to come in here, create sketch, hit the face that you want to sketch on, and I want to put text on this. So let's put, in our text box, let's put tools. Make it 3 inches tall. Change our font to the RMS font. Ethnocentric REG. Grab this, center it. Let's change this to 2.5. Okay, okay. Hit E for extrude. You see it disappeared there? I gotta turn that back on. Okay, there we go. Now you can see if I cut this out, the O's are going to fall off. So let's go back in. I'm going to hit R for rectangle again. And I need to make some rectangles here to hold these O's on. So now I'm going to hit E for extrude. And we don't want, what we want to do is, what we've been doing is cutting. What we want to do is join. And I'm going to bring it out this way. But you can see it's bringing out a block. Usually what's best if you go to the extent and to object and click the other side there. So it's created that extrusion. Now let's hit F for fillet. I'll turn the sketches off. And let's go around and just clean these edges up. I had to press escape there, it selected too much. So I hit F for fillet again. If you double tap it, sometimes it unhighlights it, but you gotta, sometimes it helps to zoom in to click the right geometry. And this is just gonna make it look a little bit better. Okay, and it's best to click all the ones you want to be the same fillet at the same time, right? Because you can adjust it, right? And you can see it updating live. And let's say here we're gonna do a 1/2 inch fillet. So now what I wanna do is, I want to hit P for project. Actually, escape that. Control Z is undo. I wanna hit L for line on this front face, P for project. I'm gonna do the square thing. Gonna hit O for offset, because I'm going to put holes in. Okay, so right there. Now I'm going to double click this line and click X. That's going to create the sketch geometry. Hit C for circle. You see the triangle that appears there? That's a midpoint. Going to hit D for dimension, make this 0.2. And I'm going to hit this equal button. So this is equal to this, is equal to this. But you ask, why is this still blue? Why are these circles still blue? Well, they're still blue because it's non-constrained. So I'm sure if you hit D for dimension here, there's something that's non-constrained. So you see, it's just floating. So that's not really great. So sometimes it's best to hit D for dimension and try to constrain this so it doesn't float around. But you can see it's not. When the dimension's in brackets is when it's, that's an odd one, I don't quite understand this. Dimensions are in brackets, it's over constrained, but I don't understand why this is, it's like it's constrained but it's not. It might be an error with Fusion. Now I'm just going to hit E for extrude, I'm just going to cut these holes. Okay, there we go, we'll turn our sketch off, there's our tool rack. Now to make a flat pattern, you press create flat pattern. Oh, and this is a good issue. It didn't do it, and I'll explain why. Finish flat pattern. I bet you the reason why it didn't do that is because of this. It's cutting it at a weird point. So what I'm gonna go and do, edit feature. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I'm gonna go back in the timeline and try to adjust this because almost need to, like, I'm gonna go to construct a plane, gonna pull it out maybe say 1/2 inch, press OK. I'm gonna delete this, gonna turn my sketches back on, gonna hit P for project on this construction plane, and I want to project these squares. Enter, hit E for extrude. Okay, so that's that. Now you can see here, this fillet tool is yellow. It means because the geometry's been deleted, and this thing here, there's an error with the flat pattern. So let's just quickly see if we can make this a flat pattern. Okay, so that's the flat pattern, so that's what it was. Control Z will exit out of this. So what we need to do, I need to finish flat pattern. What we need to do is go back into this, edit feature, and we need to, you can see it, continue that. So I just need to hit F for fillet and just finish these off. But that's what happens when you go back in the control, or the timeline to delete things. And we were 0.5. Okay, turn our sketches off. Check the flat pattern. right here. Here's our flat pattern, finished flat pattern. You need to export this. Press OK. You save this as tools. Save. Then you go into a new drawing. This is when you want to get into cutting it open, cutting it up with Fusion. Insert, DXF. It's best to always insert this the way the plasma cutter is. You can see the Z-axis is facing towards us, the Y and the X, if you're plasma cutting it or water jetting it. Insert this, press OK. It uploads it. Press OK. We don't need to show the interior profiles. We don't need to show the bend lines. So press OK. Hit E for extrude, 0.1, enter. Right here, now you can cut it. So you go to manufacture, and from here you can follow the plasma cutter video.